Welcome to the first video of the Life in Half a Second challenge, and thanks for signing up. I'm not going to rehash or go over all of the material that I covered in the first door of success about goal setting. I assume by now you know how important goals are to your success. What I want to focus on in this video is two critical things, and the action items that I'll ask you to do relate to these two things. So the first is, and you might have read about it in the book, is the more times you tell someone that you're going to do something, the more likely you are to do it. This is an enormously important point and theme that's going to carry throughout this entire video series. And I'll give you a few examples. Imagine that you're going to be washing your car at home. You get up in the morning, you look at the family car and it's dirty and it hasn't been washed for months, but it's also quite cold outside. So you think to yourself, you know what, I should probably wash the car. And the day goes on and you might wash it and you might not. Now imagine that same scenario, except you look at the car, it's dirty, it's still cold outside, but you turn to your spouse and say, honey, I'm going to wash the car today. In which of those two scenarios are you more likely to wash the car? Definitely when you tell someone else. You're making a verbal commitment and that person might ask about it later. Have you washed the car yet? Are you going to do it? You're more likely to do it in that scenario, and studies prove this. You know, I'll tell you a few personal stories. When I was launching the book, Life in Half a Second, I had an organization that was going to arrange all of the physical book launches in bookstores. And they said, don't worry about a thing, we'll take care of this. And I was very happy with that because I was busy with other things. And then about 6 weeks out from the launch, this organization came back and said, look, we failed you in arranging these book launches. And I thought to myself at that point, oh, that's not good, but you know, I'm so busy and people generally hear about products and books online these days, I'll just cancel the physical book launches in the cities, in Australia, in Melbourne, and Sydney, and Brisbane, and so on. But then I remembered that I actually had been giving a lot of public talks over the last months leading up to the release of the book, and in every talk I told the audience, there's going to be a book launch in your city. Watch out for it. And thousands of people were waiting for these book launches, waiting for the email, looking at me and saying, Matt said there's going to be a book launch in my city. And because of that verbal commitment that I made to audiences in the months leading up to the book launch, I had to go through, or I felt like I had to go through with the book launches. So I called some friends at an organization that I've worked with for years called BDO. They're a great accounting firm, and they were the accountants of my last business over a 7-year period. And I asked them if they could help me put the book launch together. And sure enough, within 48 hours, we had a national book launch put together in their offices where I could invite people, where they could invite clients, and it happened. But it only happened because I told people that I was going to do it. And having learned this lesson throughout my life, that you're more likely to do something when you tell people you're going to do it, I said, I'm going to be making these videos called the Life in Half a Second challenge. The moment the idea came about and I committed to it, the first thing I did is I went onto Facebook and I went on LinkedIn and some other social media, and I made a post that said, I'm creating a video series around the book Life in Half a Second, and it's going to be available in late January. And I knew that by committing to it publicly, the chances of me actually following through and doing it dramatically rose. And here we are, we're filming it, you're watching it at this very point. So I want you to take that lesson to heart, and that leads us to our first action item. I want you to get onto whatever social media you use, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, whether it's a blog, and I want you to write a post about how you're doing the Life in Half a Second challenge. This one simple thing of you just writing a post and committing publicly to watching the videos and doing what's inside them will dramatically increase the probability of you actually watching the videos and, more importantly, applying them in your life, in your career, in your business. And if you're not willing to do this one simple thing, which is proven through countless studies to increase the chances of actually following through on something, then how serious are you really about the goals that you want to achieve? I'd really question it. So look, let's move on to the second item. I believe that everything in life is more difficult if you're doing it alone. Think about starting a business. Think about all of the things that you would have to do. You'd have to define a product and a service and perfect it. You'd have to find a market, research potential customers that are going to buy it. You would have to set up a company, perhaps find an office, build a website, develop marketing collateral and material. You would have to actually engage with the prospective customers, reach them somehow. All of those things are much more difficult when you're doing them by yourself. There's so much to do for one individual. Think about weight loss or writing a book. Again, it's lonely and it's difficult when you're doing it by yourself. The moment you have someone to do it with, a buddy that you can do weight loss with, meet on a regular basis, discuss progress, or a writing partner that reviews what you write, gives you feedback, and you do the same for them, the journey is easier. Every journey is more difficult when you're doing it by yourself, and the same applies to goal setting. It's absolutely no different. So this leads us to the second action item. I want you to find a goal buddy that you can do the life in half a second challenge with. I can't even put into words how big of a difference this is going to make for you. It can be a close friend. You don't even have to have the same goal or goals, but it's critical that the person you choose takes this process seriously and does have a goal that we can define in the course of these videos that you can work with on a weekly basis and jointly achieve the outcomes that you're looking for. That's absolutely critical. As a personal example, some of you might know Vin Jiang, the founder of Encyclopedia of Magic. He's my goal buddy at the moment, and we meet every single week and we discuss progress that we're making towards our goals, the obstacles that we're coming against. We brainstorm solutions together, and I can't even put into words to you how big of a difference that makes. To have someone that I can talk to on a weekly basis and say, look, Vin, this is what I've done. This is what I'm going to be doing next week. These are some of the ideas that I'm knocking about. This is some of the obstacles that I see coming up. And he's providing feedback to me. He's saying, Matt, have you thought of doing it this way? What about this? What about that? And then we go through his goals and I provide feedback on them. The benefit is incredible because not only are we helping each other, but we're also keeping ourselves accountable that we're moving towards our goals, and we refocus ourselves on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis is almost like a strategy meeting with me and my goal buddy, Vin, around the goals that we've set and how much progress we are making towards them. You have to do the exact same thing. So in summary, you've got two concrete action items that I want you to do, and I don't want you to watch any more videos. Don't go to the next one until you do these two things. Again, if you don't do them, I question how serious you are about this whole process, right? And you might be watching the videos for fun, and that's fine. I'm a very results-oriented kind of person, and I want you to get results. So just do the following two things. One, post on social media, whatever you use, that you're doing the life in half a second challenge. Chances will go up dramatically that you're going to watch all the videos and actually apply them if you do this. The second action item, I want you to find a goal buddy. It can be a friend, can be a professional acquaintance, but someone that's going to take this process seriously, that you can team up with and help each other to the achievement of the goal. Do these two things, then I want you to watch the next video.